What's going on, guys? Hope you're all having a great day. Today we're going to be doing our first walk around of my 2017 Can-Am Outlander 850 with the V-twin. This is going to be the XT model, so it's going to be the model below the XMR. They got a ton of different models on this one, so I'm going to show you everything that you get on the XT model. This is going to be a very simple down and dirty specs and what it looks like in close up. I'm not going to get into too many details on what my plans are for the bike. That's going to be on a separate video, and the reasoning behind that is I haven't decided what I exactly want to do with the bike quite yet. But with that said, we're gonna jump right into it, guys. I just picked this thing up last week, late last week. Then over the weekend we had the Montgomery meet with the brother, and that was a lot of fun. If you guys didn't check out that video, it was the last video I uploaded. Make sure you guys check it out. But the video before that was me going to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, which is where I picked this thing up at Hattiesburg Cycles. I definitely recommend them. But without further ado, let's jump right into the bike. So let's start off by going over the dimensions of the bike. So it is 49.5 inches tall. It is 86 inches in length, 46 inches wide with a wheelbase of 51 inches, with 11 inches of ground clearance. So that's the specs on the bike as far as size goes. Not much to say about that. The 11 inches of ground clearance is going to be the most important number to think about. And again, this is on stock height. This is the stock wheels, the stock tires that the XT model comes with. Next thing we'll talk about is the tire and rim size. Now the front is going to be a 26-inch tire that's 8 inches wide. The rear is going to be also a 26-inch tire, but it's going to be 10 inches wide. And I'll show you guys the back here in a minute whenever we get to the rear bumper and things like that that the XT model comes with. But the tires are going to be a TerraCross RT. They are on a 14-inch rim, which is aluminum. The rims that the XT model comes with, I personally like them. I don't think they look bad whatsoever as far as the stock rim goes. I think Can-Am definitely did a good job this year and put out a really high quality stock rim that you really don't have to do away with as quick as possible. Like, you can get the DPS model, the model below this one, it comes with the, looks like a spare tire kind of rim that is on it. But with the XT model, you get a little bit better of a rim. So that's a plus when going up in a model. Making our way to the front of the bike, you see our big brush guard that comes stock on the XT model, as well as our 11 inches of ground clearance, which is very important when riding on the trails on a stock height bike. And then you see our 3,000-pound winch by Warren, and we definitely will be looking forward to using that winch and testing it out and seeing how good it does work in the next coming videos. You also got your stock high and low beam lights, your high beams being in the center, your low beams being on the outsides. And actually, when I was taking it out for a test drive last night, it's got about, I think, just at 1 hour on the bike right now, because I went out last night and then I went out the night I did bring it in from Mississippi. And the lights actually work very good, but of course we're going to be upgrading those in no time at all. But the lights actually work really good, the stock lights, the low and high beams. I was actually quite impressed. Alright, so moving around, let's talk about the brakes and the weight on the bike. In the front, you are going to have dual 214mm ventilated disc brakes with hydraulic twin piston calipers. In the rear, you're going to have single 214mm ventilated disc brakes with hydraulic twin piston calipers as well. The dry weight of the bike is 780 pounds with a front rack weight that it can carry up to 100 pounds and then a rear rack weight of 200 pounds that it can carry up to. And as we're talking about weight, we're going to go ahead and raise a question. When I towed this thing home the other day, you guys were saying that I should put it in the middle above the axle, but when you're talking about 741 pounds, because I towed it home in the front right against the guardrails, and I had 2 ratchet straps connected to each side. Now, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, as they say, guys. Either way is not wrong necessarily. It's just easier to put it against the front tires against the guardrail, and then ratchet strap it down in the back and make sure you're tight and secure. Place the e-brake on, and then have a good day. But if you do it over the axle, no big deal. It's just the way you like to do it. Another thing I want to talk about, and if you're new to the channel, be sure you subscribe. There's going to be not only a ton of videos on the Can-Am Outlander 850 XT model, but there's going to be a ton of videos on the truck as well. We are not even near close to finished with this thing, and that's what the majority of the channel is about. So, going to the back of it, a lot of you guys were asking me or telling me that I needed a drop hitch. Well, if you saw in the video, I did get a drop hitch. It's a 4-inch drop hitch because the trailer wasn't necessarily sitting level, but the 4-inch definitely helped it a lot, and it did not sit, very bad level. It just didn't sit exactly level. But once the ATV got into the trailer, it did sit really well. and I was happy with it. But a lot of people were freaking out thinking I was on a stock no drop hitch, and that is not the case. I showed it in the video multiple times, but a lot of people were still commenting saying I needed a drop hitch. But to answer your question, that is a 4-inch drop hitch, and maybe down the road I'll go with a 5 1/4, but it's fine the way it is. Also good to note that front and rear shocks, I know we probably should have gone over this when I was going over the brakes, but I forgot to, but they have 22.9 centimeters of travel in the front and 22 centimeters of travel in the rear. And the front is a double A-arm 9-inch, and the rear is a torsional trailing arm independent, or a TTI, 8.8-inch in the rear. As far as fueling goes, we have an electronic fuel injection fuel system, and drivetrain we have a selectable 2-wheel drive or 4-wheel drive with Visco-Lock QE auto locking front differential. So it auto locks. There isn't a manual locking front differential on this bike. And as far as drivetrain and engine goes, it is a 78 horsepower Rotex 854cc V-twin liquid cooled engine. And as far as transmission goes, it is a CVT transmission with the standard engine braking equipped with it in the rear of the bike, which is the last thing we have to go over before we get into the seat and steering bar controls. We have the rear brush guard, which comes in the 2017 Model XT, which is great because I have a lot of buddies with the Can-Am Outlander and they didn't have the rear brush guard, and a lot of their tail lights are like falling out. If not one of them, it's both of them. And with the rear brush guard, it protects the tail lights and just protects the whole rear end of the bike. And also you got your towing package back here in the rear of the bike that can tow up to 1,300 pounds. Also, we'll hit on fuel capacity of the bike. It is 5.4 gallons. So I don't know exactly how many miles it gets to the gallon, but I can get that down the road. This, like I said, this is the first time I've really gone over the bike. So I will let you guys know in a later video. I haven't been able to find that anywhere that I've done my research as far as fuel mileage goes. But 5.4 gallons is the max fuel capacity of the tank. Alright, so now let's talk warranty and did I get a warranty for this bike since I bought it new. And the answer is yes, I did get a warranty. It comes with a 6-month factory warranty that covers pretty much everything, I believe, other than like lost or stolen, things like that, or I think natural disaster. But as far as the bike goes mechanically, it covers everything from 6 months out from me buying it from the factory new. Then I bought a 4-year warranty, bumper to bumper, no questions asked. I asked them if I, had mud or dirt underneath, or whatever the case may be. If I was trail riding and something broke, would it still cover it? And at Hattiesburg Cycles, they actually switched companies that they insured with because of all the claims that were getting kicked back because it was dirty or something like that, and they were just kicking it back saying it was the user's fault. And that was what I was scared of. That's what I heard horror stories about, like bikes getting kicked back, as far as like people paying for a warranty and breaking something and then not being able to get it fixed through warranty. So Hattiesburg Cycles actually recognized that there was a big problem in that, and they changed up companies that they insured with. So now I have a bumper to bumper, no questions asked, 4-year warranty, and the price on that was $1,000 for 4 years starting at the end of the 6 months. So you start your 6 months and then you start the 4-year extended warranty as far as that goes. Because as you guys know, the Can-Ams put out a lot of power, so they have a bad reputation for snapping rear axles. But getting onto the bike, we'll go ahead and show you guys the keys. It does come with 2 keys, a kind of drunk buddy key as they call it, or a, I've been told, 70% key. The bike will go up to 70% of its capacity. Then you have your full throttle key. It is white in color, and I have not used this one yet because the bike does have a 10-hour break-in period, so we haven't got to the white key yet. We've just been going on the green key. I don't plan on using the white key until I've at least done 10 hours, and I might even do a little bit more than 10 hours before I put the white key on it. But with that said, I'm sure if you put the white key on it under 10 hours, you probably wouldn't have any problems. I'm just rather be safe than sorry. But getting onto the bike, we'll go over the couple options we have here. Starting at the top, we'll work our way down. This is going to be on the left-hand side. You got your brakes up here. You squeeze it all the way in, pull this lever, and you have your e-brake that engages. You have your low beams, and you got your high beams. Of course, you got your start switch, or your start button, if you will. Reverse override, like say you want to go reverse faster, say you need a little extra reverse speed so that you can pull somebody out or whatever you may need it for. You just hold this button in, your display will say reverse override engaged, and then it also works as a double button for your DPS. Now don't act like ACS is there, act as if ACS is there, because that is not on this bike. That is something that they took out, and now you got your DPS, which you can change by pressing the button in as well. So it works as both your reverse override and your DPS. Like I said, ACS is not in the 2017 Can-Am Outlanders. They did away with it. Next thing, all the way at the bottom, is your winch out and in. Pretty self-explanatory. Next thing, your four-wheel drive. The top being your two-wheel drive, then bottom being your four-wheel drive. You just switch that. You can switch this while you are in high or low, but as you're driving, I think he said make sure you're below like 20 miles an hour or something, and then you should be fine. But of course, most people would just come to a stop anyway, pop it in 4, and then get on with their business. Now we'll go ahead and place the key. And by the way, the key, we didn't even really talk about it. They did change the key up. It works off a ball now. The ball, you just put it right in, and there's electronics inside the key that is supposed to be either waterproof or water resistant, the guy told me. And you just place it in there. Each key is specifically set to run this bike. So you wouldn't be able to run this bike without these keys. And that can prevent theft, which is DESS, Digital Encoded Security System, which is equipped on this bike, which I personally love. And so we got our key in, hit our start button. It'll pop up my name, Caleb Norris. It's got 11.6 miles on the bike right now, about half fuel. It's a pretty simple screen setup. You got your check engine lights, your notification lights here on the side, your overheating lights, your high beam lights. I'll let you know your highs are on. Then you got your range, whether you're in park, neutral, high or low, whatever the case may be, or reverse, of course. And then you got your fuel. I'll hit it again. But you got your fuel level here on the side, which is kind of cool because a lot of bikes, as you guys know, don't come with a fuel level gauge, so you'll be able to see that. And then on the top, once it does start up, you'll be able to see what your RPMs are at. That's what the top gauge is about. And then it'll tell you, you can go through the modes by using this button up here. 11.6 trip. There's 1 hour and 25 minutes on the bike currently. You can just go through here and check what you're at. And for battery saving, it cuts off if you don't start the bike actually up. But that is the display. That's pretty much the last thing on the bike that we haven't gone over, other than of course your throttle. I mean, you don't really have to go over that. You do have hand guards in the XT model that you don't have in the model below it. And I think I pretty much hit everything. As far as airbox, your airbox is in here. You just pop this cover off to change out the airbox. That's where it is. And then your radiator is in here. Let's see, you can maybe see it. So you do have some clearance. Kind of show you guys what we're working with, where the radiator is. It's tucked away in there. So it's not like the XMR, so it's not, you don't have the rad kit on the XT model where it's completely relocated, but it is higher up. So, and it is guarded, so mud and stuff probably wouldn't cake it too easily, and then you could just easily clean it with a pressure washer as soon as you get back from trail riding. But that is pretty much I know I'm probably missing a couple things here and there. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have any more questions on this bike. There's going to be a ton of videos coming out on this thing. I'm really excited. Got it in the gunmetal gray, which obviously you can see it's right in front of you. Comes in a triple black when you get up to the 1000 model. But unfortunately I could not get the triple black in the 850. So that is going to do it for this video, guys. I appreciate you all watching and making it to the end. It really does mean a lot to me. Some of you were asking if I was still in the Army because I do have facial hair right now, and I am on leave right now because remember I just left Hawaii. I'm getting stationed in Alabama, so I have my leave days saved up for it. It's called PCS leave. You can pretty much take as much leave days as you want to up to your report date. That's how the Army works. So between your DROS and your report date, DROS being when you left your last duty station, or report date being when you got to get to your next unit, you can take as many leave days as you want as long as you don't go past that report date. So that's what I'm doing right now. I don't have to shave. Used to be Army regulation, but you had to shave even on your leave days or your off days, but they changed that, thank God, so we don't have to actually shave anymore when you're not on duty. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I cleared things up as far as the trailer and the drop hitch goes on the truck, but I'm going to stop blabbering on. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm excited for the more videos to come, and we'll see you in the next one.